Hey everyone, welcome back to yet another Whiteboard Wednesday. This week talking about post-chat surveys. Remember last week, if you haven't seen it, go and check it out. We talked about pre-chat surveys. This week we're going to talk about post-chat surveys, after-chat surveys, after the fact of the chat surveys. Once the chat's done, so okay. Essentially it's going to look and feel, that's so stupid, it's going to look and feel very similar to the other kind of pre-chat surveys that you've seen before. Basically, once I finish the chat, I'm going to be displayed another window with various different options and information, forms and fields, again, kind of similar stuff to pre-chat, where I can fill those things out and it will capture that information and append it with that particular transcript, and you can also hopefully run some reporting on that, but we'll get into all that in a sec. So what kind of things should you be looking at in a post-chat survey? Well, really, generally, you should be thinking about how we're assessing our customer experience, how we measuring, and how we finding information to make improvements. So the kind of things that post-chat surveys are really good for is customer satisfaction. So that could be a Likert scale, or 1 to 5. It could be a thumbs up, a thumbs down. It could be a awesome, good, not good, really bad, on a little checkbox tick list like this. Number of different things. You can also use it to start understanding your NPS score. So you could create a little NPS measurement satisfaction area there. Any voice of the customer initiatives that you have as well going on in the organisation. Good place to integrate post-chat surveys with those, so you have another data set that you can start to look at. The other big thing that a lot of post-chat surveys are good for is agent-specific feedback. How helpful was the representative that you spoke to today? I was able to get my problem solved today. These kind of bread and butter customer satisfaction, customer experience type questions, again, really good place to have them is in that post-chat environment. The other thing on the agent side is you should make sure in your scripting or in whatever process and approach you have for chat, and yes, you should have a process and approach for chat, yes, you should have some sort of structure for chat, that the agent is asking or prompting the customer to fill in the post-chat survey, letting them know that there's something coming their way, letting them know there's another step, and that they would appreciate their valued participation. Accessibility, we have seen this being used before and can be quite good in terms of, especially if chat's new on your brand, but just in general, it's sometimes good to survey these things. How easy was it to access chat? I found that I could get into chat, use it, get with the program quite easily. And the other thing that's really interesting, again, especially for new programs, but also if you're looking at chat as part of a wider strategic channel shift or channel change, one really good area to look at would be, if I hadn't used chat today, I would have phoned, emailed, written a letter, showed up at your offices, or done nothing. So part of these two areas are about kind of understanding how does the tool fit in the overall contact center dynamic, or channel dynamic, or sales dynamic, or service dynamic, whatever you're using it for, dynamic. How easy is it to get into? But also, if I didn't have that particular tool or feature, what would I be doing? Would I see my call volumes go up overall? Would I see my email volumes go up? Or would I see a total rise in contacts? Typically what we see with new chat programs especially is there's an initial overall total rise, and then over time, if there is an initiative to drive down, say, calls over here, you can put strategies in place on that, but we won't get into that today. Word to the wise, word of warning, word of whatever you want to say. Don't ask too many questions. It's not War and Peace. Be selective about the information you're asking them to fill in, because it will result in higher response rates, but also, do you really need all these different points of information? Especially, please look at the usability of post-chat surveys. I see a lot of post-chat surveys where the survey is so long that it doesn't sit above the fold, and I actually then have to scroll and interact and do all this stuff that I can't really be bothered to do with. So do try and make sure that the post-chat survey is fully visible, all above the fold, with no scrolling, no user activity required, so they can just bash through it, tick, 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 55551, whatever, this is what I thought, X, 1%. Do make it easy for them to do it, help them to help you, Give them a hand. So try and limit the number of questions that you're having and that you're asking customers to complete. Other things to bear in mind is the sad happiness face index. Typically with most things in customer service or in sales or in any kind of feedback situation, you tend to see that most people leave feedback when they're really, really angry or when they're really, really happy. So you have this kind of middle ground of kind of people that you're not sure whether they're kind of that happy or not. So just do be aware that in the kind of results of this, you are going to get a bit of a spectrum, and sometimes that will be frustration, potentially with something that wasn't related to the channel, which kind of brings me on to my next point, which is this. It was supposed to be a circle, but it didn't quite fit, but I think it's very representative that not everything is a circle. So taking your post-chat information, there needs to be someone in the organisation who's looking at that. Don't just collect data and like go, okay, that's great. We've got, we know there's 5 out of 5 on this particular score, or 3 out of 5. Don't just add it as another thing on a dashboard somewhere. Don't just stick it in the closet. Don't just put it in a filing cabinet, which can be weird to do. But what I mean here is don't just leave the data. Make sure someone's accountable for looking at that information, not only looking at it, but actually suggesting ways to improve it. So for example, taking the post-chat information, combining that with other data points that you can find. Maybe that's from Google Analytics, maybe that's from live chat itself. For example, okay, we're noticing that everyone that's completed the post-chat survey who's saying they had a really poor experience is coming from this particular page URL, or everyone that's completed the post-chat survey that's had a really positive experience is coming from this particular proactive invitation. So you can actually start to amalgamate and combine these data sets to get a richer picture of what's going on, and then that allows you to have some insights, to be insightful, light bulb moments. From those insights, again, don't just then sit on them. Look at having someone whose responsibility it is to then instigate new approaches, new methods, new techniques, whether that's the actual in-chat approach, whether that's the placement, whether that's the practice, whether that's any of these kind of massive options that you have available to you, and actually then make improvements. And then check the post chats. Has it got better? Has it got worse? Test and learn, test and learn, test and learn. Chat shouldn't be a static tool that you set up once, collect all this data, no one looks at it. Or even worse, people look at it and they just don't do anything with it. They're like, cool, got all this data, that's great, we're asking people to do this, but we're not actually using it to help make their experience better. That data and those insights that you're asking people for need to be used to create a better service. I know it sounds obvious, but not a lot of people are actually utilising a hell of a lot of the data that they're gathering. So, first and foremost, what kind of things do you want to look at? How are you going to collect them? How many questions are you going to have? Make sure it's an easy and useful user interface. Make sure the agent is prompting the user to make sure they ask them nicely to complete the post-chat survey. You will get a bit of a spectrum, really happy, really sad. Take that into account, understand that, and try and make sure that your decisions are based with some of that in mind. Most importantly of all, use your post-chat data plus all the other data that you have access to, analytics, live chat and so forth, user journey and whatever, to create some insights. Use those insights to create a program of iterative testing and learning and improving so that the overall chat experience becomes better. Don't just use post-chat surveys because someone told you that you need to collect some piece of information that no one's ever going to look at. It's just going to get stuck on a PowerPoint and nobody cares in the first place. It's a really powerful tool. Make sure you're using it, make sure you're thinking carefully about what you're trying to do with that information, what you're trying to learn from those customers, and once you've learnt it, make sure you're doing something with it to make your overall chat service better. That was another Whiteboard Wednesday, that was post-chat surveys. Thank you ever so much for watching. Don't forget as well to subscribe somewhere here, leave a comment, love to know what you think of the videos. Thanks so much again, see you soon.